And they're off. Large fields and huge parimutuel pools result in the best opportunity to profit betting horse racing on Breeders' Cup weekend. WagerTalk's own horse racing expert, Sig, will be joined by handicapper and horse racing contest expert Sean Alvarez as they preview the entire field for Breeders' Cup weekend in the 2021 WagerTalk Breeders' Cup preview and wagering guide. You will receive in-depth analysis of every horse in the 14-race field from our experts, as well as selections and betting strategies from both Sig and Sean, all 14 Breeders' Cup races on Friday and Saturday. For a limited time, if you pre-order the guide before midnight on October 31st, you can save $10 off the regular price and pay only $29.99 for expert selections and analysis for every Breeders' Cup race. Don't hesitate, grab your 2021 WagerTalk Breeders' Cup preview and wagering guide now at wt.buzz/sig.
Hey guys, welcome in. Happy November to you. And that means one thing in the horse racing world, and that is it is Breeders' Cup time. And we could not be more excited here at Pony Pundits, powered by WagerTalk.com, as we welcome in the pundits here today on the show as a couple of familiar faces. No, that's not Marco, who has lost weight. That is Sean Alvarez joining us here. Stepping in for Marco, although he will join us a little bit later with his picks for the Breeders' Cup Classic. And, of course, Sig here with us as well as usual here. And, Sig, we've been waiting for this for a long, long time. Every year we look forward to this Breeders' Cup meet because, A, the handle, the amount of money available, and B, it kind of signifies, well, we get to take a look at next year's 3-year-olds, certainly today on a Friday, but man, oh man, is there a lot of ways to be able to make some money here at Del Mar tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, Joe. A lot of people look forward to certain things like Christmas and so forth throughout the year. Breeders' Cup weekend is Christmas for horse players. With these huge fields and these huge polls, it is a great opportunity to make a ton of money this weekend betting the horses. So looking forward to this weekend at Del Mar. They should have nice weather, and it's going to be a great time to be a horse player.
No, it really is. One of the richest days in racing there, Sean. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I do want to let you guys know also, Sig and Sean have put together an amazing guide that you can get right now at WagerTalk.com. So it's not too late. It breaks down the horses, the races, not just for Friday, but also, of course, for all of the big races tomorrow, that being Saturday the 6th. You can head over to WagerTalk.com, visit Sig's page, and grab yourself that WagerTalk Breeders' Cup guide. Just download it here, guys. It'll give you what a cheat sheet. It'll give you everything you need to know in order to be able to make some money there tomorrow. And, Sean, I know you're excited as well, especially for the Classic, right? One of the stronger, I believe, Classic fields that we have seen recently. This is going to be a lot of fun to see who comes out on top in this race.
Yeah, it really is a great field, mainly considering that there's not a clear-cut favorite. There's holes to poke in a lot of different horses, and there's reasons to point towards some of the longer shots. So it's a competitive field. Like you said, it's at Del Mar, so we should have great weather. You get some of the world's best competing in the older division. It should be a lot of fun and a lot of different opportunities to take shots throughout the day. Whether you like filly and mare type races, whether you like turf or dirt, there's something for everyone these 2 days.
Yeah, and listen, it starts really. I mean, it's going to culminate really with the Breeders' Cup Classic, which is the best of the best, guys. A lot of names that we're about to go over through this field that you guys are very familiar with. We've talked about them all year long in all of the stakes races around the country, and they're getting ready to go head-to-head, and we'll see who the champ is. So let's start here, Sig, if we can. We'll run down the nine horses in the field, starting with number 1, Tripoli, coming off a morning line of 15-1. Talk to me about this horse.
Yeah, Joe. Tripoli was primarily a turf horse his entire career until this summer when trainer John Sadler tried him on the dirt. He did so well that they basically entered him after an allowance race into a couple stakes. He won the $1 million Pacific Classic at Del Mar back in August here. For a horse that basically spent the first couple years of his career racing on the turf to go to the dirt and then beat some of the best horses on the West Coast in the Pacific Classic was huge. He is getting a huge rider upgrade on Saturday here. Irad Ortiz, you guys might have heard of him. He's a pretty good jockey, is taking the irons here. TJ Pereira has been taking the ride here. His last ride in the Awesome again last month at Santa Anita was a little questionable. He was wide the entire trip, cost his horse some placings, in my opinion here. But I think Irad's going to give him the perfect trip, and I think that he's going to be fresh late. This race, the way I see this race setting up is I see two horses gunning to the front and battling for position. It's going to be, Knicks Go, who's the warning line favorite, is always races on the front end, and the Bob Baffert trainee, Medina Spirit, who is the current Kentucky Derby winner. We'll still wait to see how that shakes out. Both of them are going to battle early in the front here. I think this race is going to have a lot of early pace. I think it sets up well for some horses that might have a little bit of a late kick here. And I think Irad Ortiz works on a nice trip for Tripoli. I'm considering him on the lower half of my exotic tickets right now. I think he could pick up a piece here at a nice price.
All right, good stuff there. Number 1, Tripoli. We're going to move on to number 2, Express Train here, Sean. 20-1, one of the bombs here. What do you think? Should we consider it on the ticket?
Yeah, going back 2 starts ago, John Sheriff's really had him in form and running well. He wound up winning the Grade 2 San Diego Handicap. He looked well doing it. He sits a kind of trip that works well in dirt races in Southern California. You don't want to be too far back, but then you go into his performance in the Pacific Classic, and it was just a disappointing finish. He went back instead of going forward when he was setting a trip that he really looked like he was poised to pounce on the leaders, and just tired late, and then moved forward a little bit in the Awesome again last time out with a 3rd place finish as opposed to the 6th in the Pacific Classic. But he just seemed to be passing tired horses late. He wasn't making up any ground on the leaders, and let alone flipping the script on somebody like Tripoli or Medina Spirit. I don't see him competing with somebody like Hot Rod Charlie or some of the other contenders that are in this race as well. He's a juicy price, but I think he's going to play out that way.
All right, Express Train, 20-1. Morning Light's a hell of a number there. That leads us, of course, to number 3. And what else can we say, Sig, that we haven't already said about Hot Rod Charlie throughout the year? 4-1 morning line, Flavian Pratt, Doug O'Neill. What do you think? Favorite, or at least is he a favorite of yours in this race?
Joe, yeah, he is definitely one of my top contenders in here. He's actually a great story. Trainer Doug O'Neill's nephew and some of his college buddies wanted a way to stay in touch with each other. So they went in and bought a horse along with a couple other partners. And they basically had a great, from last year's Breeders' Cup, where he ran a huge odds second to Essential Quality, blowing up the tickets that day. And then had tremendous 3-year-old season, running 3rd in the Kentucky Derby. And then he had one of the most amazing I know we've talked about this a couple times on the show. If you guys are a usual viewer, if you're not a usual viewer, he had one of the most amazing Belmont stakes, getting out there early and handling multiple challenges, and then almost holding off Hot Rod Charlie, going the entire mile and a half that day on the front end of the race. It's hard to believe he can get any better off of that, but I think he has. He seems to be getting bigger and faster as this year goes on here, and he came out of his last race was the Pennsylvania Derby that he won, and his other race this summer was in the Haskell at Monmouth, where he actually got disqualified the last, following some interference in the strip with Midnight Bourbon, another contender that's not making the trip this year out for the Classic or the Dirt Mile. Excuse me. He was, like I say, he was DQ'd in that Haskell here. But each of those races, he's got them faster than his previous races here. And I think he's going to try to turn the tables this time here on Essential Quality, who got the best of them in the Belmont Stakes and got the best of them last year in Breeders' Cup Juvenile. I think Hot Rod Charlie is definitely one of the horses that's going to be a win contender here when we get to our selections.
All right. Well, that leads us to, it's got to be Boy, another name, another horse we've talked a lot about this year, Sean. Essential Quality, 3-1 in this one. And what do you think? Essential Quality, the horse to beat, or maybe just in the top three?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely the horse to beat, even though he's not the morning line favorite. If his only blemish on his record is the Kentucky Derby, the fourth place finish, only losing by a length, where he had trouble in the race. So if he's a length and a half better that day, we're having a whole different discussion. Right now, he's all he does is continue to win. Really, the only knock on him is he doesn't necessarily do so impressively. So you always think, well, maybe he's not going to get better, and then he winds up getting better. He had a real good race in the Travers after he bobbled at the start. Brad Cox decided to train into this. His work tab looks like he's ready to fire. I think if you're going to be the Breeders' Cup champion, the race goes through essential quality.
Yeah, that's for sure. Luis Saez, our buddy there, Sig, on top. Should be an extremely interesting trip there. And, of course, whether it be Hot Rod Charlie, Essential Quality, number 5, Knicks Go. Chances are, Sig, they're going to be chasing this horse here with Joel Rosario on top. Another Brad Cox horse, of course. Knicks Go. What do you think?
Yeah, Joe, you just mentioned Brad Cox, and ever since Knicks Go's been transferred to the Brad Cox barn following his 3-year-old campaign, he's done nothing but win. He had 7 wins over the last 2 years, and all of them were by multiple lengths. He's done it very impressively here. He's had things his way in each of those races. I think, like I said, I think this pace scenario sets up. He's going to find it a little bit more difficult here. Rosario's going to gun to the front. John Velasquez on Medina Spirit's going to try to gun to the front, and I think they're going to battle it out because both of those horses like being on the front end here. He's your morning line favorite. I think most likely he's going to go off as your post time favorite based on the way he's performed the past couple of years. But there are a couple of drawbacks on Knicks Go, and he's one of the horses I'm actually going to try to beat on Saturday here. It's the first time he's never been asked to go this 10 furlong distance, and being a speed horse like he is, Rosario gets him on the front end. Saez usually does the same thing with a lot of his mounts and just tries to basically outrun the field here. It's going to be a lot tougher on him when he faces some adversity here, and he's been on a great run, but I think over the last 2 years, I think he's going to be a vulnerable favorite here on Saturday.
All right, well, moving on. Number 6, interesting horse, Art Collector, Mike Smith, William Mott here, 8-1 morning line, Sean, and what is that? The Woodward Stakes, I believe, last month's 3rd straight stakes victory here. You got to be looking at Art Collector here as well, don't you?
Yeah, I think you're looking at Art Collector for a couple different reasons. A, like you said, he's coming off 3 in a row. The Woodward was definitely an impressive win, although doing so on the front end, which we don't see that happening today. But I think the other reason you want to look at him is he could be a pace presence to Knicks Go. He doesn't have the gate speed to keep up with Knicks Go, but when you get around the turn, you don't want Knicks Go getting loose on the lead. He gets brave. He digs in when he does so. And Mike Smith doesn't earn the nickname Money for not understanding how to win big races. So I think along with that Medina Spirit that we've kind of mentioned earlier, I think Art Collector kind of puts it to Knicks Go a little earlier in the race than he wants to. And the question is, can he kind of dig into that Woodward Stakes where when he was headed and challenged, he just kind of let everybody else go by. I'm not necessarily running to the window to bet him to win, but I'm definitely interested in the race for pace presence and maybe to soften up the pace setter and morning line favorite.
All right. Well, that leads us to number 7, the biggest number on the board here, morning line 30-1. Sig, listen, Iowa Derby, right? Big win there, but also, doesn't like Medina Spirit, mostly because, well, he's always chasing him, and he always finishes behind him. So what do you think here of Stiletto Boy at 30-1?
Well, Joe, you guys know there's a lot of horses out there that I have love-hate relationships with. Stiletto Boy is not one of those. I have a hate-hate relationship with Stiletto Boy. If you guys watched the show we did on The Awesome Again, I took a stand. I said Stiletto Boy should not be in that race, and that if he did hit the board, I would buy my co-host Marco D'Angelo dinner at a very nice steakhouse here in Vegas. Well, he cost me a very nice steakhouse dinner here in Vegas when he ran second to Medina Spirit in that Awesome Again. The thing is, he's a very opportunistic horse, in my opinion. He takes what the field gives him, and he didn't get really challenged at all in that Awesome Again. He was never going to catch Medina Spirit there, but no other horse ever challenged him for that second spot. He's not going to find the going that easy here in the Breeders' Cup Classic on Saturday. And surprisingly, one of the things that jumped out at me when I looked at the past performances is this is the biggest field, 9 horses, that he's going to face since his maiden victory back in April at Oaklawn. So out of the 9-horse field, Stiletto Boy's a 10 for me, and if you could bet for the last horse that finishes last, that's where I'm going.
All right, Stiletto Boy, I tell you, must have missed that invitation to that steak dinner again. All right, number 8, let's go, Medina Spirit here. Well, what can you say here? I mean, Velasquez and Baffert, right? That's what you need to know about Medina Spirit. And, well, what do you think here, Sean? Medina Spirit, the revenge of Baffert, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting with his running lines is that you'd have to go all the way back to his first start at Los Alamitos in a maiden special weight for a race that he won where he wasn't first at first call. Again, we're facing Knicks Go, so do you really think Johnny's gonna battle with him? Is he gonna sit and try to stalk and do something new? It's really hard to figure out the pace scenario where Medina Spirit can come away with this win. I really don't think that he can sit and then chase down Knicks Go, and I really don't think there's anybody, let alone in this field, that can go with Knicks Go and then hold off everybody else. So even at the 4-1 at a short price, it's a pass for me. I'm going to take a stand and hope that this one doesn't hit the board. Maybe I'll back off and not owe Sig a dinner if that happens, though. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
I mean, Marco's 4-1 morning line. If you're buying steak dinners with 4-1 morning line shots, I'm in. Count me in here. Max player number 9 here, Sig. Interesting horse, Ricardo Santana Jr. I believe the Saudi Cup, pretty impressive there. And then took a little while to get acclimated. But boy, oh boy, the last couple of races have been phenomenal. Steve Asmussen, an 8-1 morning line. What do you think of Max player?
Yeah, Joe, even though Steve Asmussen and Ricardo Santana have been cold here for the last month, they had a horrible Keeneland fall meet. Max Player is a horse that he's sort of figured out here. If you guys remember the story, he was switched last summer during his 3-year-old campaign following the Travers and before the Kentucky Derby from the barn of Linda Rice in New York to the barn of Steve Asmussen. He ended up running 5th in that Kentucky Derby, and then he came back and ran 5th in the Preakness there. Before the connections decided to ship him over to Saudi Arabia back in the spring, over the winter in the spring here. And I can't blame them. There was $20 million on the line there in the purse in the Saudi Cup. He didn't actually have a fantastic race there. But once he got back to the States, I think the Asmussen barn finally had the opportunity to work with him and get to know this horse here. And I think they're getting the best out of him right now. He's definitely a dead closer in this field. And like I said, my opinion on the pace scenario is Knicks Go, Medina Spirit, even Sean mentioned Art Collector are all going to challenge here on the front end. I think this race sets up well for a closer here. I think Max Player has a shot in this field, and he should be a nice price.
All right. Well, all of it should be a nice price here, guys. As the Classic's going to be that final race tomorrow at Del Mar to wrap up the Breeders' Cup weekend. A lot of ways to make big money. One of the richest days in horse racing, guys. The Breeders' Cup, Del Mar tomorrow. And don't forget, if you head over to WagerTalk.com, Sig and Sean have put together an amazing guide, a Breeders' Cup guide that will help you get through not only today's races, which, again, are going on all day. It is on the West Coast for those of you on the East Coast. And then all day tomorrow. That Breeders' Cup guide is available right now if you head over to Sig's page at wt.buzz/Sig. All right, guys, it is card time. It is best bet time. Time to take a look exactly at what you guys have on your ticket. And Sean, we're going to start with you, my man. Talk to us. Tell me a little bit about who you got here.
Yeah, I started with my top selections, Hot Rod Charlie. I think he's going to sit just a perfect trip. I might be a little bit biased. I think Flavian's one of the best riders in the country. He tends to get his horses to sit the correct position in the race that they want to be in without exuding a lot of. He finishes well. Got a little bit of bad luck with the DQ and drifting in over at Monmouth. I think that's behind him. Put a nice effort in at Parks. I think he's trending in the right direction, and comes away with the win. Second up. I mean, it's hard to bet against Essential Quality. All the horse does is win. He's professional. He seems to know what the task is at hand, whether he's putting the horses away on the lead in the stretch or grinding away to catch the pace setter. It's really hard to not include Essential Quality. Third, I agree with Sig. I think Max Player is going to be coming late. We both agree on the pace scenario. Again, the horse is getting better and better in the Steve Asmussen barn. Ricardo Santana is getting the feel of the horse. I actually think he might be a little bit closer up. Maybe not necessarily a dead closer, but he's going to have a big kick coming home. And the last one that I have in fourth is Knicks Go. He might be up against it with the pace scenario, but even when he seems to set some pretty quick fractions, he digs in gamely, doesn't like a lot of horses going by him, and I think he's going to be tough to pass down the stretch.
All right, there you go. Those are Sean's selections there. 3, 4, 9, 5. Sig, let's take a look, my man. What do you got for us rolling here on the Breeders' Cup Classic?
Yeah, Joe, you guys know a lot of weeks Marco and I end up on the same horses, usually in a different order. I was really surprised when Sean came in with the same top 3 horses that I did here for the Breeders' Cup Classic, which, I mean, actually gives me a little bit more confidence in my plays here. But I told you guys my thoughts on Hot Rod Charlie here. Essential Quality. A lot of times I'm hearing people call or saying that this horse is lazy or he's unprofessional. I think he's extremely professional. I think the proper term is he's efficient. He does just enough to win. He doesn't overexert himself. So I'm not sure if we've ever even seen his best effort yet. I mean, I think there might be more horse there for Saez to get out of him. And I think he's definitely got a big shot in here. I like those 2 3-year-olds. Told you guys my thoughts on Max Player coming late into the pace scenario here. And I think Tripoli's due for a rebound. I love the fact that I ran Ortiz to the boredom, and he already has that big win in a Grade 1 over the Del Mar surface here. I think he can blow up your trifecta and superfecta tickets, making a late run into this field.
All right, 3, 4, 9, 1 for Sig. And we also happen to have a little message from your partner in crime, Marco D'Angelo, who does, he's got a few best bets of his own. And if Stiletto Boy ain't one of them, Sig, I'm telling you right now, we're going to have a problem. Let's hear from Marco and see who he likes here for the Breeders' Cup Classic.
All right, guys, this is how I see the Breeders' Cup Classic. It's all about Knicks Go and Medina Spirit. They're going to battle it out on the lead early and often. But I think Knicks Go has too many gears for Medina Spirit and eventually will put Bob Baffert's horse away. So what's going to happen after he puts Medina Spirit away? Well, he's going to have to face off the challenges of 2 horses, and that's Hot Rod Charlie and Essential Quality. I think Knicks Go has shown the ability to go the distance. Now, I know a 1.25 miles is new for him, but this horse just keeps going and going and going. Once he puts those 2 horses away and looks like he has the race won, unfortunately for him, he's going to have one more test. And that test is going to come from the late running Max Player, number 9. He's 8-1 on the morning line, guys. I think he's got a big shot to pull the upset. And I am going to go with Max Player, number 9, to get the job done and win the Breeders' Cup Classic. Knicks Go, number 5, hangs on for second. Number 6, Art Collector will run late as well and get on the ticket for third. And then fourth, I have Essential Quality. And if you want to go 5 deep, guys, and in this race, there'll be a lot of money, you can do it. I have Hot Rod Charlie in the 5th spot. But for the show, 9, 5, 6, 4. That's how I see this year's Breeders' Cup Classic. Good luck, guys. Enjoy the races on Saturday.
Now, I'm sorry. Did either of you hear Stiletto Boy? Did he say the extra horse? Nobody said he is going to be buying steak dinners forever if this horse finishes anywhere near the top there. But there you got it, guys. You got picks from all three of the Pony Pundits for you here. The Breeders' Cup Classic, going to be one hell of a weekend at the track Del Mar for the Breeders' Cup. Plenty of races, plenty of opportunities for you guys to make it a profitable weekend. And boy, oh boy, we're talking big numbers here at the track. And you can do yourself the biggest favor. Head over right now. Go get that Breeders' Cup Classic report and get info on all the races there tomorrow on Saturday. And even the ones, if you're catching this on Friday, that have not run yet, that guide will help a ton. It's the 2021 Breeders' Cup Guide, available at Sig's page right now at WagerTalk.com. Just go wt.buzz/Sig. All right, there we got it, guys. I'm expecting plane tickets on Monday, flying me out. I mean, it's gonna be a party as soon as Stiletto Boy wins this. I can tell you that right now. So there you go. Sean Alvarez, appreciate the time. Make sure you guys check him out at Smooth Turn 2 on Twitter. Of course, Sig, Marco, he'll be back, and we'll be more than happy to make fun of his selections, too, next week as well. So on behalf of Sean, Sig, and Marco, guys, hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner. Enjoy the races, guys. Enjoy your weekend, and great luck with your plays, guys. We'll talk to you again soon.
Marco D'Angelo turned 60 this year, and to celebrate Marco's 60th, he's offering everyone 7 days of all-access service for just $60. That's every play in every sport for 7 days for just $60. That's less than $9 a day. Marco has been in the business for over 4 decades and is enjoying one of his best years ever. Look at these 2021 numbers. Number 1 this year in football, up 89% behind 64% winners. Number 1 this year in football with 5% best bets, hitting 75% of his biggest plays. Number 3 in the NBA over the past 12 months, up 59% in profit. Number 4 in MLB this season, picking up 42% for his clients. Just like fine wine, Marco is getting better with age. Get 7 days for $60 with coupon code MARCO60.